My name is Skylance, and I was asked by FreeMMOStation to do a video on this topic in the title, so I clicked on the video, asking and answering the question, is Paladins a clone of Overwatch? And for the layman's guys, Overwatch and Paladins are both hero shooters. Okay, it's an emergent genre, so a lot of games are coming out in this genre. It's kind of like the new fad, honestly, and I am hyped about it. I love these games. But a lot of games are going to be kind of similar due to either coincidence or they have the same sort of inspirations, anchored in the past. I want to say like Team Fortress 2, and also the MOBA influence is really heavy with these games, and MOBAs tend to, have a lot of copy and paste with certain abilities mixed and matched with different characters, and there's a lot of different characters, and there's going to be similar archetypes throughout those characters. They're going to make their way and bleed their way through these games. I understand all that, guys. I played all these games, played all these characters, okay? And specifically, I have played all of Hi-Rez's games. I have played Paladins. I am a Diamond MMR in Overwatch. I played a shit ton of Overwatch. I really actually enjoy both of these games, despite me saying right here, I'm going to answer it, I guess, kind of as unvaguely as possible, if that's even a word. I want to say that it kind of is a clone, okay? At least in its current incarnation. Like, where it used to be, the game used to be kind of a little bit more original. In my opinion, it was a little bit more dull, but it was a little bit more original. It was definitely more kind of MMO based. I mean, it wasn't actually an MMO, but if you ever played the battlegrounds, the arenas in MMOs, it always either had like a sieging mechanic or it just played a very peculiar way. And that's kind of how Paladins felt to me. It felt like Guild Wars 2 specifically. But then it also had like this card system, which they evolved into sort of like this MOBA item system that they have now, and this loadout system, which kind of makes it feel like classes. It's pretty cool, actually. But a lot of complaints aren't in the overall mechanics of the game or similarities, honestly. Like, yeah, aesthetically, a lot of games look similar, especially in the hero shooter genre. We get that. Yes, Team Fortress 2 had payloads, and then a lot of other shooters had payloads, and payload isn't just something you can copyright. It doesn't make it a clone instantaneously. Plus, their payload system works a little bit differently so far that I've seen. So I'm okay with Paladins, like the overarching, genre that it's in. I'm okay with all these similarities, even all of them compounded. What I'm not okay with is, here's one that I'm going to bring up. It's pretty specific, but I just stay with me, okay? Hopefully you guys have played both of these games to get the, the actual justification here, but I recently went back to do a first impression on the game in open beta, and I was planning on playing the game very seriously whenever it did hit open beta because population booming. I love hero shooters. Even if it was a copycat game, I don't care. It has enough uniquity with it to just be fun and silly and cute, and that's cool. But, it still did kind of, get on my nerves, and this is a pretty big point. A lot of people are, playing Overwatch, and if this is a clone, why play this? Just play Overwatch, right? Well, yeah, it seems that some characters are kind of cloney. Now, I'm going to say this. There is no one character in Paladins that is an exact clone of Overwatch's characters. In fact, the whole game, even though it is kind of similar, I can't say that it is, perfectly matching Overwatch. However, what it is doing is it is starting to actually go in that direction, though. Certain characters, while not 100% clones, I would say definitely majority of their kits and their core identities are definitely being copied. Their game feel is starting to be copied. And this is a big point. Is that it's newer characters, it's these newer design decisions, there's a lot of many small changes that have been tweaked, and all those tweaks are facing in the direction of changing to become like Overwatch. I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritties, but the one specific example that I do have is the character Drogo's compared to Pharah. In fact, if you go onto the official video for the Drogo's and his ability actual highlights from Hi-Rez, a lot of the very high thumbed up comments are talking about, hey, is this Pharah? Or like, hey, this is Pharah, right? This is just a Pharah copy. Literally people calling it out because it really is. It looks just like, okay, maybe like aesthetically he's a dragon and, she's not a dragon. I get it, but they both have jetpacks. They both shoot rockets. Okay, that's cool. They both hover and stuff like that. But let's go even deeper. And I know there's other games out there that have kind of similar ideas and concepts. But when you look really down deep into it mechanically, they're extremely similar. And that's really, really weird. Why is that weird? Because both these games have very different physics. They have very different principles and other characters that they blend with, and the balance is very different. So it's just very strange that so much of a character has been copied, and a new character, it just seems very, it seems like it's emulating Overwatch. That's just my judgment, is that I'm pretty sure that Hi-Rez is copying Overwatch at this point. This is not the only character, but this is the character I'm going to talk about. So Drogo's has a hover backpack thing. You can press space to kind of hover. It has a fuel gauge, which looks extremely similar to Pharah's. And this is a big thing, is that the amount of time that he's in the air, the amount of thrust that you have with this jetpack, basically it's like almost a perfect copy, one-to-one copy of Pharah. No, okay, now let's move on to the rockets. So the rockets, he gets 6 rockets. Can you guess how many rockets Pharah has? She gets 6 rockets as well. Their explosion radius, how they move, everything, it seems extremely similar to Pharah. Now, things start to get a little bit different here, I guess, because he has an ability that lets him load 6 rockets and then shoot them rapid fire. She doesn't have that. She has an air blast little grenade thing that knocks her back, and it's kind of like she can kind of rocket jump, sort of. It gives her a little bit more mobility, because Overwatch does have a little bit more physics-based movement. But this is really surprising to me that Drogo's doesn't have that kind of ability, coming from Hi-Rez's experience with Global Agenda, and specifically Tribes Ascend. Tribes Ascend had basically the whole gameplay was about people with fucking jetpacks who had explosive, rockets and shit. So I'm surprised they didn't draw inspiration from their own previous game, which in their official response, they said they do in these characters, but I'm gonna debate that here. It seems like they're definitely copying from Pharah. And I'm gonna give you another example here with Drogo's, is that his F ability, I believe, is it's a jetpack, so he jumps into the air, which, about a similar height as Pharah's ability, which allows her to jump into the air. I believe it's a shift ability. She can kind of jet into the air. So yeah, they both have basically 3 abilities that are extremely similar. Their overall mechanics are extremely I want to say identical, but if they're not perfectly identical, then they're just extremely close. Now, their ultimates are different, okay? But that's like the easiest thing to change. There are core identities, and the way you're going to play these characters for 90% of the game time is exactly the same. They look different, but physically, as a player, and how it feels to play them, and how they interact with all the other characters, it's basically exactly the same. Now, Drogo's, his ultimate is a one-hit kill Dragon Punch. That's fucking cool. It'll just kill anything like instantaneously. So I generally go for the tanks or people that I need to kill instantaneously. Pharah is a wide AoE explosive, fuck them up, barrage, justice rains from above barrage of missiles, which is pretty cool too. So that's different. But, the majority of Pharah's kit is totally Drogo's. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're going to see that also in other characters, like new characters, like Bomb King. Bomb King looks like Junkrat. His ultimate is basically Junkrat, except he becomes the wheel. Of course, he throws grenades and everything. That's neat. And they kind of work actually like the demo mans in Team Fortress 2's, which I'm definitely going to celebrate. That's really cool that they allowed him to do that. And he can detonate them at any time. But he also has a grenade, a special grenade that he can use, kind of like a concussive grenade that knocks back people and it knocks him up, which is just like Junkrat's. It's just, he doesn't have the trap. Okay, I understand that, I guess, but it's like 75% of his kit, just like Junkrat's. I know he looks totally different, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not 100% of a copy, but it's definitely an imitation. Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, some other characters, some older characters, are a little bit more unique. You can definitely see the inspiration, like Buck has inspiration from some Smite characters, like Ymir, stuff like that. Eevee, even, has inspiration from other characters. And you can see inspiration from other games, like Guild Wars 2, the Mesmer class, and their new character that they just released here, which was actually taken from Eevee's previous abilities that they had. So, yeah, the game has been in such a flux state. I don't know how to say it. It's just a huge amount of fluctuation. It's an open beta, but it really feels like it's an alpha. Like, it's just changing so much mechanically. Like, it's just fundamentally, the game is changing. So it's kind of hard to talk about it, but still, all the changes seem to be pointing at mostly, looking at Overwatch here. So I don't know. I could go over all these different individual characters and every individual ability, but I will say is that the older characters definitely do, like Hi-Rez's official response said, that they were taking inspiration from their older games like Global Agenda, Tribes Ascend, and especially Smite. They took inspiration from those to make these characters. And that's where, I don't know, they are very clear and precise with their words and how they were responding to some of these criticisms that In my opinion, I think they kind of just made up here. One thing they said was that people were criticizing how Eevee's ice block was very similar to May's ice block, but Eevee was created before May was even announced, stuff like that. I played both games at the same time. Okay, I think that's fair. No, Hi-Rez is correct there, but they specifically in their official response said that. I don't know why. I don't think anybody's really complaining about that. I don't think anybody is complaining about any one individual ability being copied from another game, because that's just gonna happen. I'm pretty sure the Ice Block was inspired probably from a Smite character, which was then, was inspired by World of Warcraft's Frost Mage or some other MOBA, League of Legends, Lissandra, of course, Dota's characters, Winter Wyvern. That, it makes, dude, I understand that. It's a single fucking ability, but what is getting people kind of, obnoxiously keyboard warrior-ish is the fact that, dude, Hi-Rez, some of your characters are like 75% specifically an Overwatch character. I've played other games, Battleborn, Gigantic, I played these other games like Lawbreakers even, Rainbow Six Siege, Black Ops 3, Dirty Bomb. I played all these hero shooters, all these different characters, man. I played them, if not to a competitive level, then just enough, man. I played them enough to fucking know, and I know that there's no other character, that is like how Pharah is compared to Drogo's. And I know, guys, that you're gonna say that jetpacks, rockets, that's not something new, but seriously, the similarities are to such a degree that I love Paladins. I really want it to work. I think it's an endearing game. I think it will go the distance, and I want it to be very popular. But the path that it's moving on now is to the point where, honestly, these similarities, they need to change instantaneously. Drogo's needs an ability change. He needs, something needs to completely change about his kit. It's just too similar. I understand that there's certain characters they have, like Androxus, half of his kit is just like McCree, okay? But the other half, is it's mixed with kind of like Tracer, and then a little bit like, I don't know, it's kind of got like a Pharah ultimate, sort of. It's really weird. It's got a mix and match of some things that you could maybe say is just like Overwatch. But there's some characters that it's really, really copycatty. I don't think not too many people are really complaining about the aesthetics, and even though Androxus does look just like Reaper in ways, that's not really the complaint. The complaint is that your newer characters, your new designs, and all the little tiny changes that you're making to the game, it looks like you're copying Overwatch. Maybe the game is not a full copy. Maybe it never was originally a copy, but the way it is transforming is completely imitating and mirroring Overwatch. Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't think that's really up for debate. If you just go and look at the comparisons, like I said, specifically Drogo's with Pharah, specifically all the little minute changes that could have happened to the character. Maybe he could have shot 4 rockets that were really much more explosive, but no, specifically you chose 6, just like Pharah. His jetpack operates in the same time frame and mechanically just like Pharah's, even though you have such experience with jetpacks in Tribes Ascend, where all of the classes and the characters that you could pick and play in that game had different physics and all this crazy stuff. You have so much experience and originality with Smite, and yet the new characters in Paladins and all the changes are turning, you're taking inspiration from specifically Overwatch. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I will end this by saying, I'm sorry I couldn't give you more examples, but this video would just be way too long because honestly, there actually is a lot of examples. But it's not just Overwatch that they're copying. They have taken an idea from Gigantic, I saw, with the Pip's ability, I believe, where he can actually transmogrify, or he can transform people into chickens. That is definitely a concept taken from the Alchemist character, Uncle Sven, from Gigantic. And there's other little abilities peppered throughout the game, and just mechanics overall. There's a lot of ideas that have been taken from other games, and that's actually fine. But what's not fine, what is not cool, is when you take the majority of a character's kit and then put it into your game. And then the game feel and everything is the same, it's the same genre. You can't quite do that. You can get away if it's a different genre entirely, like how you did with Smite. It's a different game. You can't quite do that. And even in Smite, you had way more originality. If you did take ideas, you always evolved them. In this game, though, it seems like imitation, and it makes it look like a cheap knockoff. This game, right now, it looks like a cheap Overwatch because it's the free-to-play Overwatch. It's the B-movie version of Overwatch, and that's not cool because I know this game has way more potential. I will admit, it's more fun than it's ever been, and I will continue to play it. and I'm enthusiastic about the game, okay? A lot of people are gonna have fun with it, but it could be so much better. It could live up to the hype. You know, it could be like Smite, man. Be like Smite, be more original, take more risks, because right now you're playing it safe, and it's not cool. Keep going on this direction, and I will stop playing. I'm hype about it, but that's just because I'm biased as fuck, okay? I love hero shooters, love Overwatch, and a game like Overwatch, of course, I'm going to enjoy it as well. So Paladins, you need to get your act together, man. Stop copying characters. There's more characters, there's more abilities I could talk about, but I'm sure you guys are gonna have a field day in the comments below, so leave your thoughts in the comments below. What characters are and what abilities are they copying from what game? And why, and if it's excusable, explain how the game is original, how it feels unique, because guys, there really is a lot of different things to this game, like its card system, its itemization, its physics. It is different. You know, even its game mode is slightly different from Overwatch, even though it's so similar. There is a lot of differences to this game. It's just, so far, all those differences have been slightly changing ever so often. You know, every month, every patch, it seems like it's getting closer and closer to becoming a true, complete copy of Overwatch. Is it a clone? For now, I'm gonna say lightly, kind of. Hopefully, it'll evolve from here and, you know, become better, just be better, be more unique. Maybe we will see, or maybe it'll just be more of a clone. Either way, it will succeed regardless because it's a free-to-play Overwatch. People will play it. But will it be great? Will it be awesome? Will it be something fun and unique? Will it truly be something that can go in the history books, kind of like Smite? We will have to find out, won't we? Leave in the comments below what you guys think. I'm done, guys. If you want to see more gameplay of Paladins and maybe even a longer video, maybe I'll do a longer rant on my personal channel, then go there. Skylink Games. I do cover the game. I do play it. I have fun. Same with Overwatch. So go there, or you can like and subscribe here at FreeMMOStation. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.